Okay, so today's video is about what if you have to sell your house really fast. So this happens a lot. I mean, recently had a situation where someone needed to be relocated, and they had found a buyer, they thought, and the buyer 10 days before they were supposed to close couldn't get a loan. You got to understand that when you go through the traditional method, and 90% of the homes in any area and any time are going to go the traditional method, listed with a realtor, sold on multiple listing service, that almost every time the retail buyer is going to have a mortgage contingency. And what that means is that if he gets out, if he can't get his loan, he's not buying the property, and that can take months. So I was in the mortgage business for 17 years, and I can tell you on many occasions people called me and said, you know what, I changed my mind. I don't want the house. Can you just give me a denial? And if there was any real grounds for it, we gave denials. So if you have a home in contract with a standard listing agreement and a standard contract, you are almost certainly contingent. The buyer almost certainly has a way out. So that is one way where the deal could fall apart. Now, if you need to sell your house fast, right? And I'm rambling about this situation because that's what happened. It happened right before. Your main bet is a cash buyer, right? A cash buyer is going to be helpful to you because they can close in, as long as it takes to get title, so a week, 2 weeks max. And if you go the traditional route, you're almost certainly going to have someone who's going to take a long time. I mean, the time it takes, we sell a lot of houses, and I'd say the average is over 60 days between when someone goes to contract and when someone gets their loan and closes. And very, very often it's longer, 90 days, 120 days. The mortgage process is really slow these days. So a cash buyer is going to be a better bet if you need to sell it fast. But you need to understand that the cash buyer is not going to give you retail price. Almost certainly not. I mean, maybe if it's the possibility of a rental, if it's a multifamily or something like that. But you have to consider what is important to you. And if selling your house fast is important to you, a cash buyer might be a good option. Is it possible that you can list it and you will find someone who will be a cash buyer, a cash retail buyer? It's possible, but it's 1 out of 100 situation. So it's a difficult situation when you have to sell a house fast. I've dealt with many sellers who needed to sell their house fast. Sometimes we can help them, sometimes we can't. It really depends on specifics of the deal. How much do you owe on the property? Are there other liens on the property? Is there any complication with title? Right? These are things you need to know. Right? On any, even all cash as is purchase basis, if there's a title issue, that'll hold the thing up. So your best bet is to look for cash buyers, talk to them about your situation, see how quickly they can close, work with someone that you trust, because a lot of cash buyers are full of crap and they're just going to wholesale the deal out. They're not really going to close. So you need to be in a situation where it's someone who you believe has the funds to close. You might want to ask for proof of funds. But if you need to sell your house fast in today's world where it takes so long for a retail buyer to get a loan, using a realtor may or may not be the best bet. And calling up people in your area that buy quickly, want houses, and taking a discount and taking less money from them is probably your best bet.